let's talk about some NFL stuff too.
Yeah, let's before
Let's
we look at
dive in.
the standings and go into some of the games this week. Let's look at some of the
Well,
trade
uh,
deadlines.
yeah. Why don't we quickly just do that? So I'll just run through them. We're not going to go over like the not traded because, I mean, it was interesting that like people who like Kareem Hunt, for example, didn't get traded, and Brandon Cooks put out that tweet of like,
Yeah,
you don't know what you got with me, like being so quiet or whatever. So it's been a very interesting one, I would say. This has been the most trades ever on a
yeah,
trade deadline. So it was really exciting. Um, so I'll just quickly go over them and you can just give me your takes. So,
absolutely.
all right. All right. So the Colts trade Nyheim Hines to the Bills. Like, how do you think this affects them, if at all? Um,
If anything, I think it helped the Colts out because who did they get? They got a 6th rounder and Zach Moss, right?
I thought it was a fifth, but
I think it was
so it's a six. It's a conditional six that can be a fifth.
Yeah. So if anything, it's like they got a 5th round pick, and they got a young running back in Zach Moss. Where as good as Nyheim Hines is, I don't see how it really benefited the Bills at all because they have Singletary
And Cook.
and Cook, James Cook. So I just thought it was kind of a useless trade for the Bills. But Nyheim Hines is a good player, so maybe he could be useful for them in their passing game.
Yeah, I guess it's a win-win, but I just feel like Josh Allen throws the ball down the field a lot, so I don't really get it. Next one. This one was weird. So William Jackson, if you remember from the Commanders, Washington football team people, they signed him. It was a huge acquisition for them as their cornerback one from the Bengals, I believe. He was super, super good for the Bengals. And then he just fell out of favor, stopped playing this year for the team. And they traded him to the Steelers for almost nothing. Like the Commanders got they're going to release him. So they got a 6th round pick in 2024 and a 7th in 2025.
Yeah.
He signed a 3-year deal worth up to $40.5 million just a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
so,
the Commanders were trying to get rid of him, and the Steelers got him, and now they're already going to release him.
No. that'd be a twist. The Steelers just got him, but they traded a 6th and a 7th rounder for him. I feel like it's probably a good value. I don't think that they have much on their. I don't think it really makes sense, actually.
I mean, the Steelers are terrible, but it made sense for the Commanders because they were going to release him either way. So the fact that they got anything for him was a win for them.
Totally. So this one was made in a series of moves. So the bigger move was that Bradley Chubb got traded to the Dolphins.
Fins.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That's for their 1st round pick. There's something else also. I think another 2nd. They immediately extended him. The Dolphins are really making a push, I feel like. They have taken a huge step up.
Oh, yeah. They'll be a playoff. I think, though, they should be a playoff team, and they'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, and then the subsequent move is that the Broncos traded for Jacob Martin from the Jets, who somehow are unbelievable and have had an assortment of pass rushers. Do you feel pretty bad about? Remember, you said I hate that all the Jets fans are all excited, but then they beat the Bills.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty crazy, especially with Breece Hall going down for the year, and I just don't get like how this happens.
So good.
I don't get how
it's crazy.
The Jets have a good defense. I'm not going to take that away from them. They do have a good defense, and Sauce Gardner will probably be defensive rookie of the year. But
I think you will be.
But yeah, just how they sneak out these wins, and I already lost a bet with my friend. I said that they were going to have less than 5 wins.
Yeah, they were 5.5 in Vegas.
Yeah,
they're already past that on the bye.
I still don't think they make the playoffs, but
really, I think they're definitely making the playoffs.
I don't think they do. I mean, their division's pretty bad, but I don't think. I mean, they have the Bills, but
have you seen the coin flip?
No,
dude, I'm gonna pull it up right now. So there was a guy on Twitter
The sheet of the coin
Yes,
flip. Yeah,
yes,
he's
yes.
gotten everyone right so far.
Every
Yeah.
single one, including the Bills game.
Except this week, or I don't know if it's this week or next week when
Next
they play
week.
when they're on bye this week. But
Yeah.
when they play the Patriots, the flip
Yes.
was that they lose to the Patriots, and I don't think
Yes.
they'll lose to the Patriots. But maybe they do make the playoffs, and whoever they play, they're going to get spanked against. But I don't know. They're well coached with Robert Saleh. I'll give them that. They have a good defensive team. I'm just not scared of them on the offensive end, and I don't get how Zach Wilson tore apart that Bills team. Pretty crazy.
So, credit where credit's due to Nooner Nation. Look at this. Every single one of these, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How could you possibly have predicted that? Like, even if it was, I mean, this is pretty hard to believe. The AFC Championship.
Yeah.
And they beat Minnesota and Buffalo. Even Seattle. That seems pretty unlikely. But
so far, he's gotten every game right.
It's unreal.
Nooner Nation.
Nooner Nation. That was all I
can't talk about the Jets anymore.
Okay, so moving on from the Jets. Let's see what else. Oh, this is a big one. Calvin Ridley getting traded. That was so cool.
Yeah.
So he obviously was done in a Falcons uniform after they drafted Drake London and Kyle Pitts consecutive years. But what do you make of that for the Jaguars going forward, for Trevor Lawrence for next year, and even for Ridley, who's going to be 28, I believe, but he's still a stud. Like, what do you think?
So when he was suspended for the year, was that a league decision or was that a Falcons decision?
That was a league decision.
Okay. Well, I think after that, and with how bad the Falcons are, he kind of needed a fresh start, Calvin Ridley. And they were trying to looking to trade offers before all that happened anyways.
With the Eagles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because I think it's a big move for the Jags. Christian Kirk's been playing really well. And Trevor Lawrence is turning it around. So I think having another weapon is huge for him. I think from a fantasy perspective, I personally would stay away from Calvin Ridley just because I don't really trust the Jags offense. I still don't think they're that good of a team. I don't really love their offense. I mean, they lost James Robinson to the Jets.
ETN's season.
ETN's zone has been unreal. He's been in the zone and in the end zone.
What a good! I just ridiculed my pick like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he started off slow and he's turned it around. Maybe they just needed to get rid of Robinson to open up more space for him. But
yeah,
I think I could be wrong. It could be a great move for them getting Ridley, and they could really be. They're a rebuilding team. They're a young team. They're turning it around. I love what Dougie P's been doing with them. So we'll just have to see next year. But
really, he's done a terrific job. Like they're not winning that many games, but
other than ETN,
they're playing well.
Other than ETN, there's nobody on their team that really appeals to me from a fantasy perspective. Despite how well Christian Kirk's been playing.
Yeah, and Christian Kirk's been great, but I think it'll open it up for Christian Kirk once they have last time we saw him play, he's a dominant outside receiver. Yeah. He's a filthy route runner. I think he's going to be opening up a lot of opportunities. I don't know if anything can happen in the offseason. Like these off seasons have been nuts, but if they can upgrade over Zay Jones, actually they paid Zay Jones 3 years, didn't they? So, Zay Jones has been fine, but Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Kirk with ETN in the backfield, it's not bad. Evan Engram has played pretty well too, surprisingly.
And it's pretty crazy, or as good as he is, how they got him for a fifth and a conditional fourth. I feel like that's kind of a steal, but maybe it just shows the value of draft picks for Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I think it was more so. This is why I think the Jaguars are so smart. They got so ahead of the curve. Imagine how much his value is going to go up the second the offseason starts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's interesting. I think that will end up being a steal for them.
Looking at some of the other wide receiver acquisitions, Chase Claypool, who said he was a top 3 wide receiver in the league, was just terrible on the Steelers, and he goes to an even worse team on the Bears, despite how good Justin Fields has been playing. I don't think he did anything this past week, but
Who? Claypool?
Chase Claypool, yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny watching Claypool. They were talking about it pregame. I don't know if you saw this. They were talking about the acquisition of Claypool pregame, and they showed him warming up. And the first first ball that he
dropped.
He dropped it.
Yeah, he
Oh,
had
that
2
was pretty
catches
funny.
for 13 yards. I mean, he's not going to
Yeah.
make the Bears any better. I don't think
No,
he's
Justin
helping.
Fields. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I don't think he's going to help his career out at all. But like you said, Justin Fields is playing really well. But he's been playing really well because he runs the football. Like, yeah, he threw the over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, something like that.
No, I think it was
against the Dolphins in this past week.
over 300.
I think he did. Let's see.
I think it was.
No,
low.
I lied. He threw for 123 yards, but
Yeah.
But he threw for 3 tutties, and it's his legs that has been doing it for him. He rushed for 178 yards and a touchdown,
Which is an NFL record.
Yeah, which is unreal. It's like outrunning Lamar, but
he outran Michael Vick. That's Michael Vick ever in a game. I think that I don't think that he's a good like. This is what I think about Justin Fields.
Spit it out.
Word salad. I think that they finally figured out. Matt Eberflus found out a way to use him correctly.
Yeah,
like you don't try to stick a square peg into a round hole. Like he's meant to run. Like he's a running quarterback. And honestly, I feel like his accuracy actually did get better. If you watch that game, like I was watching it because I was in Florida, so that was what was on. Like he actually had a dime of a throw that was just dropped by Equanimeous St. Brown, which would have been the first down on that game-winning drive. But because he dropped it, that was 4th down, game over. So I think his throwing has gotten actually much better. But they finally figured out how to use him correctly. Like he's running the ball very effectively.
I mean, yes, they have figured out how to use him, but defenses are going to start, figuring out what they need to do, like whether it's putting a QB spy or just preparing for the run every time because he doesn't throw the ball that much. Doesn't really have many weapons. I mean, Darnell Mooney's good, but I don't think the addition of Claypool really helps him at all. But any running quarterback brings up the same worry of injuries. You see it with Lamar, who's gotten injured. It's one of my worries with Jalen Hurts. But we'll just have to see.
He reminds me a lot of Jalen Hurts last year.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Hurts barely could throw.
Yeah, he just
ran a shit ton. He ran 80 yards a game.
And now, I mean, it is interesting that you make a good point, though. Like when the Eagles added a threat in A.J. Brown, now he's been slinging the ball, Jalen Hurts. Right. So maybe Claypool's not the answer, but if the Bears added a big-time target, maybe it would force him to throw the ball more, and it could be productive for him. So,
yeah, he reminds me a lot of him, like with the running ability and like.
And I said it from the beginning. I thought the Jets should have taken him over Zach Wilson. I think they're going to regret
Me too. I thought the same thing. Justin Fields is my number 2 in the class. I could not understand how Trey Lance was viewed higher. Mac Jones got selected after, but he was almost selected by the Niners too.
Yeah. And then looking at one of the other wide receiver acquisitions, and you can really go into detail about this one, even though he didn't really do much on Sunday Night Football, but Kadarius Toney and just how his injuries and his off-field issues. But I remember when they drafted him, how high you were on him, and he is a very talented player. There's no denying that, but just from the storyline of when the Giants drafted him to him not really like playing many games for them to trading him for, what was it, a couple draft picks?
It was a 3rd and a 5th.
A 3rd and a 5th to the Chiefs.
Maybe a 3rd and a 6th.
Which will be very interesting to see if they can turn him into a weapon for Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously this one was, when I saw this trade happen, I was like, holy crap. But
I think it was a 3rd and a 6th, actually.
Oh, it was, okay, yeah, 3rd and whatever. 3rd and 6th.
Whatever. People are relying on us to give them the right news.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Kadarius Toney getting traded for a 3rd and a 6th. So I thought that was actually worth. Like I thought a third and a six is more than he's worth right now. To be honest, like I thought Joe Shane actually fleeced them.
What round did the Giants draft him in?
They drafted at the end of the first. That was the deal when they had the pick that was Justin Fields. They traded back and they got an extra first, third, and something else. And the first turned into Andrew Thomas. Or sorry, not Andrew Thomas, to Evan Neal. So it still worked out for us. And obviously Justin Fields wasn't very good until recently. So but either way, I mean, Kadarius Toney was I still to this day will say he is probably one of the most talented receivers in that draft class. He just can't stay healthy. And he has a lot of off-field problems, which shocker, like Dave Gettleman didn't know. He also drafted DeAndre Baker, who like got arrested almost immediately during his rookie season and then was never with the team again. Yeah. Who also went to the Chiefs, fun fact. Mm-hmm. Except his career is over. But Kadarius Toney, I mean, it's not really a surprise to me that he was traded. I think he's an excellent talent, and I held him in fantasy for this exact reason. Like, I think that once they integrate him into that offense, he is their best player, like their best offensive player, not named Travis Kelce. Let me reiterate.
You should drop him like you do everyone else.
I really have a bad problem, huh? Like Ramondre Stevenson, dropping him, that didn't work out.
Nope.
Yeah, big bummer. Bummer that I do that every year. Whatever. And then whatever. Anyway, yeah. So I think he'll actually turn out to be pretty good in that offense. He's kind of what they needed. Like they don't really have like a dynamic threat like that who can move like east to west so quick. Like he's so fast lateral, and you could see it on the first target of the game. Like when he got it on a slant and he like made his zigzag move and came back in. Like I think he'll be pretty good. He commanded a target on like it was something like he ran like 2 yards per route run, and then he also had like one of the highest commanded targets per route run in the league. He's just always hurt. So he had already more yards this year for the Chiefs than he has had for the Giants this whole year.
Yeah.
The other trade that we forgot to talk about, which I'll just quickly mention, is TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinstocks going to the Vikings.
That was crazy.
That's crazy. I don't really get it for the Lions part, like at all.
I don't either.
Doesn't make any sense. He's a foundation.
Especially after that monster game he had for them. It just doesn't make sense, and it only makes the Vikings better on top of their 7-1 record.
Yeah, they're so good. Yeah, and he played really well this weekend, actually. But yeah, and they lost Irv Smith to a high ankle sprain. He'll probably be out at least like 8 to 10 weeks. So, and Irv Smith has been terrible since he's gotten into the league. Always hurt. TJ Hawkinson is a big deal. Him, Jay Jettas, Thielen, KJ Osborne, Dalvin, Madison. That is a really good. And let's give a shout out to our fullback, CJ Ham. All right. That's a really good team.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna, I mean, we beat them pretty bad. We just had a really good game on that Monday night game, but
yeah,
they're just as good as we are, I think. And
I want to see the Eagles get tested. Like you guys kind of have a cakewalk schedule to end this especially.
I mean, that's ideal for us, is just to kind of finish what we started and then get a first round bye, get home field advantage, but then come that first game in the second and the I'm
curious how they'll play.
What's the second round? Would this be the divisional round? The divisional round.
Yeah.
Having to play at home against the 49ers who just got McCaffrey, or having to play the Vikings. Not going to be a walk in the park, or even the Rams, who are kind of underperforming. If we had to play them, like not an easy game against Cooper Kupp, but
it'll be interesting.
And then I don't know if you had any other transactions, but one of them that I thought was kind of funny was with the Bears, how the Eagles get Robert Quinn, which was a big signing for us.
Oh,
And
that was crazy.
yeah,
That
and
trade made no sense.
it made no sense. And the thing that I thought was funny about it was his good teammate and friend Roquan Smith is being interviewed, and he didn't even know about it. He gets told about it in the interview, starts crying about it, and then a week later gets shipped off to the Ravens. Pretty funny. But
I guess we didn't talk about that one. Roquan being traded to the Ravens is going to be huge for them too.
Yeah, he played Monday night.
He played
so well. Yeah, shut down Kamara.
I know. Thank God.
God damn it. Side story.
I want to do besides beat you in fantasy.
Side story. I've lost to Jay twice in fantasy this year, and I was down by 23 with Kamara, and he got 9.
I was actually watching the Chiefs game, and I was so pissed watching Derrick Henry waltz in there.
He's literally their whole offense.
They look so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I know they don't have any receivers, but like this is why they can't win. Like, this is why they won't ever get anywhere. Like, Mike Vrabel definitely can coach them up during the regular season. Like, they win games they're not supposed to. They were tied. Or no, they might have even been winning at halftime. No, I think they were tied. But, you know, the second they figured out how to shut Derrick Henry down, which they really did in the second half, they only limited him to like 24 yards.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, Malik Willis did not have a completion to a receiver. How is that a stat? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
quickly going back to the back to Kamara and how the video just surfaced of him punching the dude.
Yep.
Do you think there will be any punishment this year? Or
I don't think there will be.
Waiting?
I don't think there's going to be any punishment this year. I mean, definitely this makes it interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah.
This makes it interesting because before they were just pushing the case back and back and back. Now they have evidence. It's really hard to see it. I don't know if you watched the video. Like, I watched it. It's really hard to see where Kamara is.
Mm-hmm.
But you could definitely argue, like, you could see punches being thrown. Like, this is good. I don't know. I don't really think it'll make a difference for this year, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I don't really think it'll make a difference. Like, you know, I don't know. I took Kamara in a different league, which I needed him to perform, and so I lost in that one. That one's a bummer. My team is so unbelievable in that league, and I'm 4-5. My starting lineup is Saquon, Kamara, CMC, Mike Evans, Hopkins, Godwin, and I still lose. Unbelievable.
Wow. All right, Jay. Well, before we put a bow tie on this episode, I'm just going to look at week 10 real quick. I'll go through like the first half, and then I'll get your opinion on the second half. Thursday night football, one of the worst games we could watch. Falcons at Panthers. Falcons will probably beat them, but you never know. Sunday morning off to London. You got Seahawks at Bucks.
Yeah.
Could be a good, entertaining game to watch. The Bucks.
I think the Seahawks are going to win that.
They could. But the Bucks got a big win this past week, so we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. A preview of the Thanksgiving game. We got Lions at Bears. Who knows what will happen with that? But it's kind of it's kind of entertaining because Justin Fields has been playing really well.
Yeah,
and the Lions, they're just kind of an atrocity. But
he's gonna stomp all over the Lions.
He should. Browns coming off the bye week playing the Fins. The Fins at home. I feel like the Dolphins should win that one. The Broncos, who have been terrible coming off their bye week, they play the Titans. Like, the Titans should beat them, but you really never know. This is probably the game of the week, and it's going to obviously depend on the status of Josh Allen, but Vikings at Bills, 1:00.
Oh, yeah.
That'll probably be on national TV.
It should be. That's a really good game.
Yeah,
I'll be watching the Giants game.
Like, I want to say that would be a win for the Bills, but even if Josh Allen plays, especially after losing to the Jets, like, and as good as the Vikings have been, and they barely beat the Commanders, who have been playing pretty well, surprisingly, but
True.
no easy wins for the Bills anymore. It seems like your Giants play the Texans. I feel like they should stomp on them pretty easily.
They should. The issue is that some of our offensive linemen are still hurt, and Daniel Bellinger, if you saw that, what happened to his eye, there was like a eye socket fracture he had, so he had surgery on it, so he's not going to be back this week either, which is kind of an L. He's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Saquon just stomps them.
Yeah. The Chiefs play the Jags. I feel like the Chiefs should stomp all over them, right?
Totally.
Saints at Steelers. I feel like the Saints should bounce back and beat them.
You'd think they're 2.5 point favorites right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty low over under. It's only 40. I think the Giants 38, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
40.
Colts at Raiders. I mean, this is just a disgusting game, but
God.
I feel like the Raiders at home, like they should beat them, especially with the firing. And I mean, but then again, you never know. Like if Jonathan Taylor's healthy, and the debut of Jeff Saturday is pretty exciting. So
Sam Ehlinger is so bad.
Yeah,
he's so bad.
He's so bad.
This is such a bad team. The fucking New England Patriots ran.
Do you think they give Matt Ryan another chance again this year?
No. Jeff Saturday already said that Sam Ehlinger is their quarterback. He's just. I think Jim Irsay is just like he has complete control over this team. Everything like football decisions too, which he shouldn't, and because he compared making a football team to making sausage in his interview, so that's when probably not a good idea. And so I think that he just knows that Jeff Saturday will be a yes man. That's what that's why I think he was
yes or no sir.
Because the other guys on the Colts, on the staff are all former coaches, former head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So it also presents an interesting thing to bring up real quick. A really interesting thing to bring up, which is the Rooney Rule in relation to interim head coaches. I feel like that should also, like, usually you just hire from within, but or you just promote the next guy up. But they hired from. It's like the most unconventional thing I've ever seen, to hire an ESPN analyst.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
I don't know. Apparently, Dan Orlovsky was being considered for a QB coach.
Yeah, I saw that. Pretty funny.
What would have been an amazing game? Packers Cowboys.
Yeah. Also, you skip Cardinals Rams, which is another fun game this week with just how well Hopkins has been playing.
That's next on my list on this ESPN list.
Yeah. And then I feel like Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys should stomp all over the Packers. As much as I don't want them to, the Packers just look terrible.
That's not Sunday Night Football.
I mean, sorry, the 4:00 game. Sunday Night Football is Chargers 49ers.
Yeah.
I feel like the Cowboys should win that, which is crazy to me with this division, because that means, and then the Eagles play Monday night. I think quickly, the Sunday Night Football game's kind of entertaining, but I feel like with how good the 49ers have been and McCaffrey, they should beat the Chargers. The Chargers didn't look good this past week, even though they barely won. Did you see that crazy fumble, by the way?
I saw that.
Yeah.
The whole ending sequence was nuts.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But with Keenan Allen being hurt, and it just kind of looks like their only offense is really Eckler, I think the 49ers should beat them pretty easily. And then
I think so too.
And then Monday Night Football, we play the Commanders at home, and I think we should remain undefeated. But looking at our division, the Eagles will be 9-0. The Cowboys would be 7-2. The Giants would be 7-2. The Commanders would be 4-6. Like, that's crazy. That I don't even know the last time this has happened, but
no, not for a long time.
Possibility that 3 teams in our division could make the playoffs.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
our division was the biggest. We've been the NFC least for every year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were like, at the beginning of the year, I'm pretty sure we even said that we were going to be the worst division in the whole league, and somehow we're the best division in the whole league. It's pretty funny.
pretty well. Yeah, we also thought that the AFC West was going to be insane, and as did everyone. And the Broncos are disgusting, and the Raiders have lost 3 straight after being up 17 points plus.
Yeah.
So that's just the way the league works this year.
Yeah, pretty crazy.